Hello, everyone. Good night and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am your lovely host, Nihanda, and we are going to be talking tonight about the happiness factor myths, hard truths, and things that you need to know to continually develop a sense of prevailing happiness in your life today. So let's get into it. This is a part of a three-part series that focuses on the success factors, and I try to make it really concise into three groups. And we're talking about these three groups that I broke down. Wow, that I broke down into happiness, wealth, and health. Last time we were talking about health, or maybe I might have uploaded that video at a later date, but tonight we're going to be talking specifically about happiness as it pertains to the acquiring of happiness. So, you don't want to miss out on future videos that are about personal development, education, and living your best life. Please like and subscribe this video. You know, it will do me a great solid. We are on the 1,000 member subscribe. We're on the 100 member subscription goal setting. So please make sure to like and subscribe and share this video with your friends if you find that this content is useful. So I have 5 factors or points of reference, if you may, that I have found has been very, very engaging and important for my clientele when it comes to personal development. And the most political one um, that I have had in my practice that I still to this day stand by, even though it gets me into a lot of trouble when I talk to people about this, especially women for some reason, is the idea of happiness being a choice. And it usually comes up in various different ways, but basically, we as women especially tend to want to give our happiness, the responsibility of our personal happiness, to someone else, either it be our boss or our parents or our partner. Yeah, this is a very difficult one. And some of us may come from legitimately hard circumstances at a point in our lives where we weren't actually necessarily in control. We were vulnerable, young, and not knowing any better. And those circumstances are actually not what I'm talking about, because if you are an adult right now, you actually have a choice to not make your past dictate how happy you can be now and in your very near future. There are ways that you can actually deal with that. So, we're going to be talking about that at a later time in another video. But for now, I just want you guys to really open up to the idea that your personal happiness, outside of course, some chemical imbalance that we may not actually have like mental conscious control over. But even then, I have to say it like that because if you know that you have some kind of chemical imbalance, it is your duty and responsibility to seek the proper necessary care, help, and attention from the professionals that deal with those kinds of issues. It's no longer okay in this day and age with the advancements in medicine and mental health that we can just blame it on our past or blame it on someone that had abused us and just let that be who we are. There's always chances and times for growth, and I want to welcome and invite you all to look into how it is that you can improve that area of your life. Make it a choice to be happy. So the second one, I know I spoke like half of the allotted time for this video on that one topic because I'm super passionate about it and I can give anecdotes, but I'm just going to move on to focusing on connection and connectivity. This one is one that for me is super personal because I am so annoyed. I am advocating all the time for people to spend less time on their phones, screen time. I know that, and I'm happy for everyone who's here to spend 10 minutes of their time with me to get some empowerment. But a lot of the times we are in the presence of people, loved ones, and we are not actually engaging with them. So, FaceTime, screen time, unless your family is abroad or not close to you, is actually affecting your level of happiness in a very negative way. There are plenty of studies that shows the effects of social media on especially the younger generation. So I don't need to talk about that and beat that horse. Y'all know what it is, and if you don't, I would recommend that you just look at some your preferred portal of information seeking, Google it, YouTube it. There's enough data out there to proves that our level of connectivity has decreased. And when I'm talking about connectivity, I'm not talking about these social media platforms. I'm talking about connecting physically with the people, having a conversation face to face, looking a person in the eye. We could get into connectivity alone. And like I said, each one of these points can be divulged further down the rabbit hole into. So I'm just going to scratch the surface and hope that you go and do your own research if you're wanting to do that. The third one is mental health. And I'm going to talk about this in a very different way than I originally had planned to. I had originally wanted to talk about it from the perspective of therapy, but I'm just going to say that there are things if you're not ready or in a position to seek professional like a therapist or a psychologist to unpack some of the emotional traumas that you may have experienced in your life, know that not doing that is costing you your happiness. And maybe you want to start unpacking by yourself by maybe doing some journaling, some meditation is one thing all by itself. So let's just not mix up the two. But mental health means that you are aware of some of the things or the psychoses or the neuroses that you have, and you are looking into creating a routine and a schedule to really deal with those things. So, dealing with your mental health is like checking your stress levels, checking the kind of environment that you are in, and really starting to take stock of how that affects your level of happiness. And that is what I would like to call practicing self awareness, reflecting, and um, like I would say doing research and navigating yourself into the spaces that can actually help you to have a healthier mental state of being. Reading books, going to online seminars, or going to physical seminars where you can actually learn some tools and better ways of being when it comes to dealing with your mental health. Now, this is a controversial one too, and I think that I'm gonna get some heat for it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there and whatever you guys think, you think, and if you whatever you don't think, that's also okay. Maybe this is just not the space for you. I am good either way, but one of the things that's super important is your spiritual and emotional growth. This is kind of abstract and very hard to talk about, but I would like to recommend some books that can help you to uncover this journey because I think it is important for everyone. And why it is important is it came to me as a revelation because before I always knew because I always grew up as a spiritual and Christian person, but now it has even solidified in my life since I have gone through many transitions of motherhood and seeking and spiritual growth myself. When you hit rock bottom and when you've kind of lost your way, and if you're struggling right now to find or figure out what your purpose is, your spiritual connectivity will help to guide you back to find that there is hope and beauty in life. And you don't really get that from other things. And getting that is something that takes a lot of work because it's a very abstract concept, like finding love or finding meaning. But I think that those two things that I just mentioned, love and meaning, can really create a space for people to start to understand what spiritual growth, spiritual and emotional growth looks like. That is one that I could actually divide into a couple of segments. And it's a beautiful thing because there are many people who think that they know about spiritual growth, especially in this boom of coaches and online self help. But I just got to say that the books that have really inspired me have been The Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Think and Grow Rich, interestingly enough, has a lot of spiritual connotations. Um, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell something or another. Hang on a second. Let me just. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to go get my list because I had an actual list, and that's another video for another time. So Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. I think it's something it's Abraham Hicks. Ask and It Is Given, but it's written by Esther and Abraham Hicks or something like that. Anyways, that one's really good, but don't start with that, please, because it's a very different kind of book. The Magic of Believing. Think and Grow Rich. The Magic of Believing is from, I think there's only one, so you don't have to go look up the author. Um, Hung by the Tongue. Like I said, Psycho-Cybernetics. The Alchemist, I think is a very good one. And my number one personal favorite, of course, there are others. I'm gonna do a video on that specifically, but I have to think about the ones that I like the most. The one that I think would be really, really empowering and has done a lot for me personally is um oh my goodness, The Road Less Traveled. And I forget the author. I'll probably look up his name and put it in the description. But that book is definitely something that everyone should take a look at. I think it's wonderful. Definitely check it out. And so the next last one, we have two more. Learning a new skill. Like I think that one of the things that has brought me the most joy is finding time, making time to actually learn a new skill, and challenging myself in new ways. It brings me great joy, and it helps me to feel like I'm actually living and doing something with my life by uncovering new aspects of myself that I actually never before had time for or was too afraid to get into. And every time I'm able to jump over that bear and actually do the thing that I set for myself that I might have thought was impossible or too hard or just not something a person like me does, I am um I'm delighted, even overwhelmed with joy because it's a sense of accomplishment and discovery and newness that everybody feels and needs. The last one, and this is a very controversial as well. It can be taken in many different lights, is actually meditation. Some people might define meditation as prayer, as time in the forest, as time alone, cooking, cleaning, walking your dog. To me, meditation, the definition of meditation is the ability to empty one's mind about being somewhere else except in the present. And it's very similar to connectivity. Oh, my hair is just doing its own thing. I am so sorry. It's it's very similar to the idea of connectivity because you're communing and connecting with yourself, whereas connectivity is connecting with others. We are a social species, so we need both, and we also have to make ourselves in a way kind of distance ourselves from situations in order to be able to reflect and to understand things or even see things in a different light. This causes people to be inspired, to be motivated, to continue to really push forward and maybe even create or experience something new. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this segment with me, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. If you guys have any tips or any comments on this content, please leave them your comments and criticisms down below. And I ask only that you all be very respectful of it. See you next time. Bye.